Well, getting back to, blaming the white man.
Mm-hmm.
I know that the sports channel ESPN has kind of fallen dramatically over the last couple of years because of their programming and because of their hosts and because of the issues that they've had internally.
Yeah, sure.
Well, it continues.
Okay.
I'm sure you're well aware of the political commentary, Laura Ingraham.
I know of her.
You know of her. Well, she's a political, for the most part. Yeah. She has a radio show, and you know she talks about a lot of political stuff, kind of like Sean Hannity or anybody else. She's a conservative talk show host.
It's a woman on the radio, therefore I've never heard it.
Of course. But the thing is that she does have a following, and she's been doing this for years, and she's a voice out there that preaches conservative values.
Okay.
Do I listen to her? No. I know who she is. I think that she's, I've seen her on, when I've watched Fox News, I've seen her as guest on there and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
She's a political commentary, she does political commentary.
She's the same as what's the other lady, the with the blonde hair that's real skinny? Ann Coulter. Yeah, she's in that. Yeah, she's in that same category. Okay.
All right. Well, Cleveland boy LeBron James. Ugh. What's that all about?
LeBron. I hate him.
Really?
I fucking despise him. I didn't want him to come back. I appreciate that he's a great player, one of the greatest that's ever played basketball, but I can't fucking stand him. He's a spoiled cunt, and he whines about every fucking thing, and the whole NBA has been ruined because of this fucking guy.
Right.
To where it's not even a very much of a good sport anymore because of that fucking asshole. And now the league represents him, a self-centered, one-dimensional fucking shitty team. That's all every team is. There's like one, maybe two guys that are fucking that are good, and they're just all showboats. It's not the basketball. The heyday of basketball to me was in the 80s.
It was a team effort, not an individual effort.
Yeah, and I mean there were great players in those fucking eras. Your Larry Birds and your Dr. J and even Charles Barkley, and I mean these were great players, but they played within the team environment. I used to watch that shit every Sunday. Remember during the NBA season on Sundays they would have the Sunday game of the week on CBS, and it was almost always the Lakers and the 76ers or the 76ers and the Celtics or whatever, and it was always great team fucking basketball. Now, and I mean, I'm an NBA fan. I won't lie and say I don't watch it. I watch probably a game a week of the Cavs. But the truth is I don't need to watch the game start at 7:00. I don't need to start watching until about 9:15 of any game now, because it's so one-dimensional and so lacking of team basketball that one team goes up by like 18 points, then the other team catches up, then another team goes up by 15 points, and then they come back. So then they're back by like 2 points with like 2 minutes to play. So I usually just tune in at like 9:15 and I watch, the superstar take the ball up and down the court for 5-6 times in those last 2 minutes, and that's all you need to watch. That is what the NBA is now. So I don't enjoy it nearly as much as I used to. I was certainly happy to get the NBA championship, but now that we got it, LeBron can fucking hit the goddamn road. Fuck him.
All right. Well, I don't know if you were aware or not, but Kevin James, what am I saying here? That LeBron James and Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
They have this little video podcast thing, I guess.
Okay.
They do together.
Not aware of it.
And of course, it's always bash Trump, bash Trump, bash Trump.
Oh, of course.
So Laura Ingraham, being a conservative talk show host.
Yeah. Well, LeBron, by the way, wasn't he? He was a Hillary guy.
Of course.
He went out and campaigned for her dumbass. Okay, good for him.
So she basically came out on her show.
Okay.
And said, we don't, and basically what he and this Kevin Durant were saying in one of their video podcasts was, President Trump, he doesn't give a shit about people. He doesn't care about the black man. He doesn't care. He's a racist. He's this, he's that, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, the normal mantra.
More or less.
Okay.
So she basically just came out and said, listen, you're a sports star. A lot of people listen to you because of your sports, whatever, but you're not exactly a political commentary.
Yeah.
Just shut up and dribble. That's basically what she said. Just shut up and dribble.
That's funny.
Yeah.
True. Just play the goddamn game.
That's more or less what she was saying. Just you're an athlete. Just shut up and dribble. Nobody cares about your political viewpoint.
Well, and haven't they all learned yet from watching the NFL season that when politics invades that, then people don't want to fucking pay attention to it anymore?
True.
You watch sports to get away from the real world. Whatever doesn't only have to be politics. So let's be clear, though. You're not a huge sports guy.
Not huge. I like a few sports. I do watch the Pirates and I do watch the Steelers, and that's about the extent of my sports watching. I'm not a big stats.
You're not a committed to a team guy.
No, not at all.
I am a committed to team guy. I definitely am. I am definitely a Browns, Cavs, Indians guy. Committed to. I get emotionally involved with the games. I just do. The reason I do is because for those 3 hours, whether it's on a Sunday with the NFL or the 2.5 hours of an NBA game, if I choose to watch a whole game, or the 3 hours of an Indians game, I can escape my life. I can escape my work problems. I can escape any kind of situation I have with family or friends or whatever. I can escape fucking politics for a couple fucking minutes. To have that bleed into it now, go fuck yourself. Same with these actors and these actresses. They're all entitled. See, I don't believe that they need to shut the fuck up necessarily, but people need to stop reacting to them and covering it. That's the real issue. The issue, if LeBron James is saying that Donald Trump is a fucking dick fuck, then so be it. That's LeBron James's opinion. When ESPN decides to cover it fucking 18 times a day, then it invades into my fucking my time away from politics. And that's when it's a problem. I don't give a shit what LeBron James says. I just want to know if he scored 36 and beat the fucking Warriors. That's it. The fact that he fucking voted for Hillary Clinton, what does that mean? Who cares? Just play. And the media needs to stop covering these guys like they give LeBron James's opinion of Donald Trump the same weight that they would fucking Netanyahu saying something about fucking Obama. It's not the same, so stop covering it the same way. How about if you say, and in sports, the Cavs played and beat the Clippers. We don't need to hear fucking, and then you're not going to believe this, folks, but LeBron James, the king, had this to say about Mike Pence today. Who cares? Just fucking play. Right?
I agree, and that's exactly where this Laura Ingraham was going with that.
Okay.
So, since I don't watch ESPN, don't care about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's to me, it's like mainstream media news anymore.
Yeah, I don't watch it anymore at all.
Done poorly. But anyway, they have a black female commentator on ESPN by the name of Cari Champion.
Don't know her.
Don't know her either. Cari Champion has steadily become one of the strongest voices at ESPN since joining the company back in 2012.
Oh, good.
So it was no surprise she didn't hold back about the racially charged comments Laura Ingraham made last week concerning certain political content on Champion's show.
Yeah.
The Sports Center anchor, who will replace Michelle Beadle as host of Sports Nation on March 12th, opened up on Thursday about how Ingram's message to LeBron James to keep quiet about his non-sports beliefs.
Yeah.
After James and Kevin Durant heavily criticized President Donald Trump during a segment on Rolling with the Champion, hit home with her as a black woman.
Oh, shut up with this fucking racist horseshit. What did Ingraham say? Did she say, what did Laura Ingraham say?
She basically said,
you're not going to believe that nigger LeBron James said that Donald Trump stinks. What a nigger attitude that is. Is that what she said?
No, she said no. She said, you're a sports figure. You're an athlete. Nobody gives a shit. She didn't say shit, but she goes, nobody cares what your political viewpoint is.
So she had zero aversion to race.
No, she said, just shut up and dribble.
So let alone she had no negative aversion to race.
No.
She had no reference at all to race.
Not at all.
She said, you're a famous guy, and as a famous guy, you should shut the fuck up.
Yeah, as an athlete, nobody cares what your political affiliation is.
Really? Okay. So when I go off and say, I would never say this, but if I was to say that I would definitely say this. Let me rephrase. I would definitely say this. If I was to go out and say, Rosie O'Donnell and Joy Behar, shut the fuck up when it comes to your political takes and just tell jokes, would that be a racist take against white women?
No, but you're shutting women down and you're going against rights of females to speak out.
So I would be sexist.
Yeah, you would be sexist in that comment. Yes.
Even though I said nothing about them being women, I just said that as two comedians, they need to shut the fuck up.
Well, but the fact is they are women, so you're just basically saying women should never be heard from as far as anything political is concerned.
I see. I forgot that I'm a white guy, and therefore I can have no negative opinion about anybody but white guys.
Exactly.
Forgot. Sorry.
Well, anyway, this Cari Champion, she said, I was furious.
Oh, brother.
I was angry. Mm-hmm. I was pissed off.
Were you?
Because Laura Ingraham essentially to me was saying, shut up, nigger.
Is that what she said?
That's what she said.
She's as dumb as two tree stumps.
Well, see, again, it's this. She didn't say anything like that, but that's how she heard it.
Yeah, that's her perception.
That's her perception.
And that's because she is indeed the racist.
Right.
Because she feels like anything. If any, I'm so sick of this fucking racial horseshit that if a black person says something, it must be worshipped. And that is ultimately what is being spewed now. If a black person says anything, it cannot be criticized.
Yes, that is correct.
That fuck off. Then I'll just keep being a racist. Because by that standard, I'm always going to be a racist because I'm going to call anybody out for being a fucking asshole.
Right. Fucking
idiots. Fuck this Cari Champion, stupid cunt.
Champion said on Sports Illustrated Media podcast of Ingram's infamous shut up and dribble comment.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I really don't like how it came across.
So, is there a rule that says you're supposed to?
Well, if it didn't suit my palate, then it must have been racist.
Yeah. Fuck off.
It hit my spirits really, really hard because that's exactly what LeBron was talking about the entire car ride. That's exactly what KD was talking about the entire car ride.
Really? Well, maybe you're putting a little bit too much weight in the fucking opinions of two fucking basketball players, you fucking twat. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe you spend too much time watching fucking TV, you bitch. Go out and do something and have your own opinions instead of being led by two goddamn basketball players, you fucking idiot.
Champion acknowledged she was particularly
offended.
Exactly, by Ingraham's use of the pronoun they.
They?
Which the Fox News host used when calling out James and Durant as unworthy of sharing their opinions because of its racial undertones.
There's no racial undertone. You call any two people they. Any two people making a similar point and you grouping them together would be they.
That would be correct.
That has nothing to do with race. This bitch is a fucking idiot.
I know, but it's always looking into everything to try to make a racial statement about something.
Yeah, well, I'm going to make a non-racial but purely factual statement. She's a fucking idiot. She is a fucking idiot. And the fact that she's black, I guess that makes me racist. And by now me saying that I'm racist, she's a fucking idiot. Holy mother of fuck.
Ingraham, a staunch Trump supporter, elicited angry responses from figures across the professional sports landscape when she questioned the legitimacy of the NBA star's platform, asking at one point, why must they run their mouths like that?
Yeah, why must they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She started off saying that James couldn't speak well, like ungrammatical.
Okay.
What kind of nonsense is that, Champion said? And listen, they know that people view them. She just used it.
Yeah, she used it.
Yeah. They know that people view them as not eloquent. They know that so far for her to say that and reinforce whatever the stereotype is about certain athletes, okay, that's disgusting in itself.
Is it? How about this? If they sound like fucking idiots when they speak, like LeBron James does, then they shouldn't be considered as a good place to fucking base something, your opinions, on things that actually affect your life, like political stance. LeBron James can't put a fucking real sentence together. He can't put a single sentence together without it sounding like it's a fucking tweet. You know, and he is an ebonics king.
Well, that's a stereotype. That's exactly what she's talking about.
That's fine.
That you're reinforcing that stereotype.
Fine, I am. Because LeBron James, when I hear him do interviews talking about the basketball game, and he used, or anybody, I'm not going to only say LeBron. When I hear anybody fucking talking like a retard, I get annoyed by it. I get thoroughly annoyed by it. And I'll make, you want me to make a racial statement? I'll make a racial statement. When LeBron talks about the Cavs game and then when Kevin Love talks about the Cavs game, it certainly sounds like two different guys that are from two different educational backgrounds. Make any fucking assertion you want. If that makes me racist to think that Kevin Love actually stayed awake in his college classes while LeBron coasted through high school, then fuck off, because that's the way it sounds. It's just the way it is.
Well, that kind of relates back to the previous story we covered. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to make exceptions for that.
Have not enough exceptions been made in the world for LeBron James, the wealthiest fucking athlete in the world? Are we somehow saying that LeBron James is being held down by his color, by his skin, by his race?
Because you're pointing it out.
He's the most successful athlete in the history of the world.
Yeah, but you're supposed to ignore the elephant in the room. What's wrong with you?
Oh, I guess that's what it is. That's where I'm wrong. His success doesn't matter. The fact that he has been able to become the most successful athlete in the world is somehow still not showing that he has not been held down by his race. It's just luck of the draw.
Right.
What a bunch of shit. It's a bunch of shit.
So this ESPN gal, Cari Champion, continues.
Did you say gal?
I said
sexist.
It is sexist.
Sexist.
What really, really bothered me is when she said, "Why must they?" Who the hell is they?
Durant and LeBron, you dummy. What do you think it is?
I sat there and I was angry, and by angry I mean damn near tears in my eyes because it was so disgusting and it's so bold, and I'll call her a they. Like, you're really not hiding anymore. You're saying how you really feel, and that's disgusting.
Fuck off.
So basically what she's trying to say is that Laura Ingraham means they, those niggers.
Yeah, of course.
That's what she's trying to say.
Yeah. And the same reason that it always is thrown that way with the fucking racial bullshit, because so many people are afraid of being called a racist that they won't fight back.
Right.
Laura Ingraham's not going to fight back with this.
No, she will.
No, she won't. She'll say, I'm not a racist, and that's it. She won't really come guns blazing.
Yeah.
She won't do it. But she'll just be like, that's insanity that you would say that I was making a racist. Of course I'm not a racist, blah, blah, blah. It'll be fucking, it won't be angry. More people need to come out angry. People, I'll put it this way. With the tirade that I just went on right now, 5 minutes ago, with me yelling and screaming and doing whatever, do you think somebody would want to battle that? Or would they be like, I don't want that hassle?
Yeah.
That's by calling white people racist is the same way, because most white people do not want to have that argument. Most white people don't have the stones to fucking stand up and say, fuck you, you're a stupid fucking asshole, and I don't give a shit what you say about me. Fuck off. And there's not enough people that do that. That's when this racial horse shit that is going on today is only going to stop when there's more Chris Aikens of the world that are just going to go out there and say, fuck you, I don't care what you think, I don't care what label you put on me, don't buy my products if you think I'm such an asshole, and go away. That's when it'll stop. Because eventually it's going to come down to us versus them, and the us will be those that don't give a shit versus the them that fucking think everything is an issue. And then you're going to have a problem, because those that really won't give a shit are also going to be they're going to be the same people that are the most productive people in the world. So you're going to have to start giving up some of those fucking luxuries that you have.
Right.
Because the people that are successful are generally not quiet. True or not?
That is true.
So go ahead, keep it up. Eventually it's going to get to that point.
Right. Champion was referencing Dwayne Wade's tweet after the incident that suggested Ingram follow in Trump's characteristically unfiltered footsteps, showing her true colors with her remarks.
Oh, yeah, whatever.
White woman, racist.
Mm-hmm.
And she's showing it by saying they.
What about her remarks?
Well, she can't be racist. She's black.
She's anti-white person, as far as I hear this. She's anti-cracker.
Right. In 2003, I wrote a New York Times bestseller called Shut Up and Sing, in which I criticized celebrities like the Dixie Chicks and Barbra Streisand, who were trashing then President George Bush. Ingram said in a statement, I have used a variation of that title for more than 15 years to respond to performers who sound off on politics. I've told Robert De Niro to shut up and act, Jimmy Kimmel to shut up and make us laugh, and just this week told San Antonio Spurs Greg Popovich to shut up and coach. If pro athletes and entertainers want to freelance as political pundits, then they should not be surprised when they're called out on their called out for insulting politicians.
Mm-hmm. Now here's my problem. This is what Ingram said.
Yes.
Ingram said, here's my problem with what she said. She's justifying it. She's giving it weight. She's actually trying to defend herself against something that is ludicrous. She doesn't need to defend herself. She needs to say, shut the fuck up. I'm not backing off of anything. fuck you. That's what she needs to do. She doesn't need to defend herself. She didn't say anything wrong. So why defend yourself? Why not just say, okay, bitch, I'm a racist. Fuck you. Seriously.
Well, because
it would have more impact than going out and say, well, look at all the white people that I said this about. See?
Well, but the thing is Laura Ingraham has a lucrative contract. Mm-hmm. And just like this show, we've made it very clear the reason we can, quote unquote, get away with what we do here is because nobody's paying us.
Yeah, true.
But the minute somebody strokes you a check, mm-hmm. then you got to really kind of tailor your responses.
Yeah, and you got to be a subservient fucking bitch.
Exactly. There was no racial intent in my remarks. False defamatory charges of racism are a transparent attempt to immunize entertainment and sports elites from the scrutiny and criticism.
Yeah.
Additionally, we stated on my show that these comments came from an ESPN podcast, which was not the case. The content was unaffiliated with ESPN. Mm-hmm. Though Ingraham denied that there was a racial intent in her words, Champion, who caught up with each of the NBA stars during an All-Star Week in Los Angeles, said Ingram's rebuke just gave them more motivation to use their platform to say what they believe is right. Mm-hmm. James responded last week by saying he would definitely not shut up and dribble.
Is there any doubt on that?
No.
That fucking jizzbag has the biggest ego in the world. He's never going to shut up.
Right. I knew there would be people who would be upset about what he said, but quite frankly, LeBron is very much a I don't care champion.
That's bullshit. That is bullshit there. That fucking guy is all about image. He is all about fucking fucking the LeBron James brand.
Right.
Fuck that. He is a dick.
I'm
not a James fan.
James saying during the videotape car ride that Trump doesn't give a fuck about people. He's living his life like this is the time I have to say something. I have to say how I feel because I know there are people who feel the same way I do, but they can't speak out.
Okay, fine. Why is it getting news coverage?
Because it's LeBron's James, man.
Yeah, enough. So what? What does that mean?
Well, he's important.
Is he?
He's an important figure in our pop culture society.
If fucking Donald Trump was given his picks for the curling in the Olympics, is that newsworthy? Shouldn't be. That's the point. Is these fucking to me it's not such a big deal that these sports guys they can say whatever they want to say. It's this fucking media that keeps giving them life where there shouldn't be any. Of course they've got opinions on the fucking government. Of course, who doesn't? Everybody does. But to treat it like it's news because LeBron James said it or because Kevin Durant said it or Steph Curry or whatever, whoever it would be, Mike Trout, any athlete, to give them pop culture status is the problem. Give that story status. That is the problem. Stop covering it like it's news. It's not news. It's just some dickhead making a comment. It's no different than some dickhead at a Cavs game saying, "Man, Trump fucking sucks." You don't see that getting a story in the sports page, do you? A fan at the game said Trump sucks. It's retarded.
Yeah. Well, when somebody rises to popularity status, somehow they're more enlightened than the average person out there.
No, they're not.
Well, that's the attitude, though.
They're not, though. They're just wealthier.
That's true.
That's all they are. They just have more money. LeBron James has more money. He has no more enlightenment. None. Zero. He just has more money. It's so stupid.
Champion 42 felt somewhat silenced herself during her first few years at ESPN as a moderator of First Take, a debate show that at the time featured Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless. The frustration she felt sitting mostly quiet in between two loud voices inspired her to petition for a larger role with the network in which she could show her personality.
Boy, don't know how I missed that show. Sounds great.
That was difficult. I called it the middle seat, Champion said. That's the most uncomfortable seat on the plane normally, depending on who you're sitting next to. No one really wants the middle seat. You can't quite get in. You can't get comfortable. People didn't really understand my value or what I offered or what I could do. Boy, she's like full of herself, isn't she?
They needed to hear me.
Because I've got a lot to bring to the table that's not being utilized.
Yeah, well, I'll be honest. I don't know her from anybody, but I would, without ever hearing a word of her, I would still rather listen to her than either Stephen A. Smith or Skip Bayless.
Right.
Wow. Talk about two unlistenable douches.
Are they white?
One is.
Oh, I don't know either one of them. So
Stephen A. Smith is another race baiting black guy, and Skip Bayless is a white shaming white guy.
All right. Well, it's okay if you criticize him, but don't say anything bad about the other guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Now Skip does a show on Fox. You want to talk about even more unlistenable? And I've tried this one because I'm always looking for a sports podcast or show to watch or listen to. It's Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. Wow, is that bad?
Is that known as what we've coined here on the show as a tough listen?
Oh, it is a very tough.
I see that term pop up periodically on some of our YouTube thing that, man, that was a tough listen.
Yeah, sure was.
Hail and kill, caller. You're on the air.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me? Hey, finally some common sense. I go to work every day. I listen to you guys constantly.
Constantly? All day? And
yes.
you haven't gotten fired yet?
No, but I got these little earplugs that I listen to you guys on, and I was turned on you guys for the first time. I was listening to Rad. They were live, and you guys were making fun of them, and me and my wife sat and listened to you guys, and we laughed so hard.
The sad state of Stephen Piercy?
Yeah, it's the one where you guys are making fun of the way he's singing. It was in, I can't remember
Sao Paulo.
Europe somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I thought, these guys are so damn smart. And I get up every day, and when I go to work, I listen to the talk shows. You know, I listen to Rush. And I keep thinking to myself, why aren't you guys on like a national radio station? You're so damn smart. And every time Chris talks, the same thing that I think, that's what he says.
Well, because commercial sponsors would not support us.
Well, I know that, but when I hear him talk, every time I hear Chris talk, I think, man, he's saying exactly what I'm thinking. And you play devil's advocate, which is perfect because you get so fucking riled up. It's just funny. I mean, I can't get enough of you guys during the day, man. I'll listen to you like on YouTube, and I run out of stuff to listen to, and I get so damn depressed. I'm like, well, shit, man, what am I going to do? I've already listened to all the damn shows. I know more about you guys than, I've listened to just about every show you guys have on, and it's the greatest thing in the world. I just want to tell you that.
All right. Well, who is this and where are you calling from?
Well, my name's Tommy. I live in Huntsville, Texas, and I'm the one that put my phone number there for you guys to call me. I was going to tell you, I was wanting to send Chris a autographed shirt of Jason Bonham because I know he's a Zeppelin fan, and I got it back in '95, and I wanted to give it to him. And I couldn't hear you, Chris. What'd you say? Oh,
I just said that you're definitely a Chrisophile, not a Neelyphobe.
Yeah, well, what I like about you guys, and probably I don't know if anybody's ever told you this. Neely plays the devil's advocate. You get pissed off. I don't know if you guys planned it that way, but it's just so damn funny.
Yeah, it's all planned out. It's all planned out.
Well, And you know what, too? I was listening to one the other day where you were talking about somebody was listening to somebody screwing it. They could hear him in the background. She couldn't sleep. I don't know where that came from, but I couldn't figure out where I got it, which podcast it was. But I was listening to that, and I was laughing so hard I wasn't paying attention when I was doing it at work, because I'm a mechanic, and I know, Neely, you work on cars, too. I mean, not as a mechanic, but I'm sure that you repaired your own cars. So, you know, you guys are just, you're the greatest. And I wanted to call in before, but I thought, well, you guys are pretty rough on people, so I had to be very careful about what I said and not stay too long, because I know you'll hang up on me.
No, not on the good calls.
Oh, Chris, I wanted to also ask you, before I go, about the, you ever heard of Cardi's?
I'm glad you were looking.
Why aren't we on a national platform, Chris? We're only heard around the world.
Well, it's not part of our plan.
I guess we're not commercially viable.
Oh man, that was good.
Yeah, I'm glad we had a plan, that I'm the devil's advocate and you're the riled up guy.
I had a plan. Take all the praise and then still hang up like assholes.
Right.
Oh man, that's good.
Yeah. All right, to finish this up.
All right.
And we'll take a short break.
All right.
People didn't really understand my value or what I offered or what I could do, and there were many times I was frustrated, and I tried to share those frustrations. But the thing is, when somebody is done the way it is done, it's hard to change it. That show, in my opinion, already had a flow, and this show was the most popular show. Mm-hmm. I couldn't get in there and change things to benefit me.
That was the most popular show?
Well, that's what she said.
That doesn't say much for ESPN.
Right. Champion has since become a popular ESP talent on her own. And the move from Sports Center Coast to Coast with David Lloyd to Sports Nation with Marcellus Wiley and LZ Granderson will give her another chance to mold a show content to her strengths. We've been working on that show, Champion said of the show's prospect without Beetle, who will join Mike Greenberg and Jalen Rose on a new morning show, Get Up. I think it will be a lot of personality driven. A lot of it has to do with our chemistry. They clearly had a way with Michelle, and so we'll just develop the chemistry together. And I think the show, for me, will have to be about some things I enjoy.
Oh, I can't wait. Maybe some wall-to-wall WNBA coverage.
Right.
Can't wait to listen to that. Never.
Yeah. So this Cari Champion, she's quite the spark plug.
Oh yeah, she's a real go-getter.
People are clamoring to hear what Cari has to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. ESPN has become absolutely unwatchable.
Yeah, I know.
It's bad. I mean, even sports. I can't even watch Sports Center. I used to watch that. What's that bald guy's name? Van Pelt.
Yes.
Brad Van Pelt, Scott Van Pelt, whatever his name is.
Right.
I used to watch that guy after the football games, the Monday Night Football games.
Mm-hmm.
But then he just tried to be. He was like a poor man's Chris Berman. He tried to go with all the nicknames of this guy and that guy, and it's like, enough. Just tell me the fucking scores. That's all I ever want. Dude, I miss the old Sports Center from like 1983 when it first came out. You'd get all the baseball scores. Maybe they'd go into some weird, Australian rules football scores or some shit like that. And then they would repeat. Then they would just repeat it all day long. That's when Sports Center was great. ESPN is no longer great. I don't know. I mean, what do you watch for sports news? Or
I don't. Because I don't need to hear somebody bloviating about, again, this goes back to just the story we read. I don't need to hear what, well, in other news, LeBron James said, so?
Yeah. I'll tell you, that newsie has got it totally down. You just get clips, and you can either sit there for 20 minutes and let the clips just flow and catch all your news, or you can just click through and pick what you want to hear.
Right.
So you can skip all that. Yahoo Sports, I don't know if you've ever used the Yahoo Sports app, but Yahoo Sports does a pretty good job too for the TVs.
Well, I don't use the app or anything. I just use the web page.
Okay.
For Yahoo Sports, because I do look at that periodically. It's not a day-to-day thing for me. It's just, just catch up, see what's going on out there a little bit.
Sure.
But
yeah, I have the app, and I just kind of click through. Go to it lists 10, 12 stories, and I'll click 2 or 3 of them to see, hey, what happened in the Marlins versus Angels game or whatever. I'll watch that, and I'm good, and I don't have to hear anybody's politics. I don't have to know who any of the fucking personalities are. Just give me the fucking score and let me see the home runs, and I'm good.
Before we take a break here and talking about celebrities and their viewpoint, since when did Samuel L. Jackson become this big voice of reason when it comes to all the anti-Trump stuff?
Is he?
I always see these headlines. Well, Samuel L. Jackson said President Trump's idea of arming the teachers is absolutely ludicrous.
Oh, so he's anti-Trump?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Dude, I'm done with fucking any celebrities on... Unless I'm watching a movie, I am not a member of the TMZ generation. I don't pay attention. Anybody famous to me is an asshole anymore. To me, there's not a favorite... No matter what their opinion is, if they're giving an opinion on anything but their next role or their next game, then they're an asshole. And I don't give it 2 seconds of time anymore. I don't care what Rosie says. I don't care what Sean Hannity says. I don't care what Joey Behar says. Samuel L. Jackson, Scott Baio, none of them. Just tell me about your next fucking movie. That's all your worth is to me. You're just a fucking monkey that's out there to entertain me. That's it. Sorry if that doesn't make me politically correct.
Right.
That's all they are, dude. And truth be told, that's what we should be to everybody else, I think. We're not here to fucking guide you in any kind of political way. We're just 2 fucking trained monkeys that are in here to fucking make you laugh for fucking 6 goddamn hours.
Yeah. And for no money.
For no money. We just do it because we like it.
Right.
And that's it. And if you're giving us any kind of weight other than that, then you're a fucking stupid retard. It's the truth.
All right, let's take a break. Let's play a couple of songs here. I'm going to play something from a band called Habitual Sins.
All right.
It's the name of the band. And I think this segment has basically driven us far beyond Hades.
Oh, okay.
So here it is. This is Habitual Sin exclusively here
on your classic metal show.